Imagine every breath that you take burns like hot coals in your lungs. And all you want to do is lay down and go to sleep because you are just not getting enough oxygen. Everywhere you look, it's a little bit like this, a little shimmery, a little disorienting. Well, that's what it feels like during a house fire. And I'm here to talk to you today about a couple things. The first being fire safety and prevention, what to do in case of a fire, and how to pick up the pieces afterwards. So we're going to talk about general fire safety first. And this is the big thing right here, your smoke detectors. Yes, this is just the lid. Mine is actually up there with a good battery in it. That means if your remote is missing a battery, take a trip to Walmart, buy a 10-pack. Do not take your batteries out of your smoke detectors. They will save your life. They saved mine. Test them once a year. And if you can, if it's not too much money, you can get a smoke/CO2 detector. If you can't afford it or you can't afford it, regular smoke detector, go to your local fire department. Lieutenant Carroll from the Havre de Grace Fire Department told me that they give out free fire detectors every October for Fire Prevention Month. Also, fire extinguishers. They might not seem that important, but they really can save your life. You should always have them by your sink and by your washer and dryer. That leads me to another little tip. Clean out your lint trap in your dryer. You might not think it's going to cause a fire, but it can. Lastly, the biggest thing, another thing with fires, is going to be your space heaters. Space heaters need that space. General rule, 3 feet in front, 3 feet in the back, and 3 feet on the sides. Things can fall, they can melt, they can cut off the airflow from it, which will cause it to heat itself up and then melt and then boom, fire. Oh no. Now let's talk about what to do during a fire. You should always have a general plan. Always have all your exits mapped out in your house. Know the layout of your house. Easier said than done. I knew the layout of my house when it burnt to the ground on February 2nd of 2011, but I was not prepared. There was stuff piled in front of the only other exit. I even had to throw a 20-inch television across the floor. It was pretty bad. So you want to make sure your exits are clutter-free. Now, say you've done all this. You have your smoke detectors, you have your fire extinguishers, you've cleaned your lint trap, you make sure your exits are clutter-free. But for some reason, you still have a fire. The first thing you need to do is get out of the house and remain calm. Oh, you're gonna panic, but it's not unnatural. Don't feel like a coward. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be thinking about your TV and your photo album and your furniture that you just spent a bunch of money on and that brand new antique vase you just bought at the auction. Don't worry about it. Your life means more than any of those things in the house. Once you've made it outside, do not, under any circumstances, go back in the house. I understand that it is hard to do this, to listen to this, because I ran back into my house. My fiance ran back into his house for our dog, Sarge, because they're family, and we love family. Everybody loves their dogs, or you wouldn't have them. I feel that if we had had better planning, we would not have lost him the way that we had, because I loved that big dopey dog. But if I had to choose between my fiance and my dog, I'm going to have to say I choose my fiance. So sometimes I wonder. Just kidding. Now, you've made it out of the house. You're alive. Maybe you've only acquired 8 stitches on your finger from busting through the storm door like I did. You're stitched up. Where do you go from there? Well, obviously, if you have homeowners insurance, which you should always have homeowners insurance, you'll be fine. They'll cover 99% of everything you lost in your house. Or you could not have homeowners insurance and be filming your speech in a camper out in the middle of the woods like I am right now. It's ironic, isn't it? But you have homeowners, but that's not gonna fix the trauma. You need to talk to somebody. Get it out. Don't hold in your anger or your depression. You're gonna feel all of these things. And then you'll have your house rebuilt. It won't replace pictures. That's gonna be hard. And that comes into the anger and depression thing. You're gonna need to talk to people about it. So, fire safety, extinguishers, space around the space heater, smoke detectors with batteries that did not go in your remote control, not panicking even though you're going to, getting out alive is a blessing. Always remember that. And afterwards, slowly pick up the pieces and make sure you talk to somebody. It really will help. Have a good night.